Episode number 78, Ironman Coeur d'Alene 70.3 with Dylan Gillespie. Welcome to the pursuit of the perfect race. I'm Coach Terry Wilson, and with each episode, I bring stories of athletes to you that share their experiences at races in order for you to learn how to have your perfect race. We will hear stories from athletes of all ages, abilities, and races of all distances. So regardless of where you fit in, there's something in it for you. Thanks for spending some time with me today. Now let the pursuit begin. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the pursuit of the perfect race. Today I have the pleasure of talking with my friend Dylan Gillespie about his recent race at Ironman Coeur d'Alene at 70.3, where he placed first in the overall age group division with an amazing time of 4 hours, 16 minutes, 57 seconds. This race took place on June 24th, 2018. Dylan has been doing triathlons for 10 years now and is being coached by Haley Chura, who won the female pro division at this race. The temperature on race day was 51 and rose to 82 with a wetsuit legal swim. Welcome to the show, Dylan. I look forward to hearing about your race experience.
All right. Thanks for having me, man.
Hey, you're welcome. So what made you want to do this race?
I did it last year. It was my second ever 70.3, and it's only a 6-hour drive from Bozeman. So it's kind of a no-brainer to show up there instead of flying somewhere far away.
Right. So you didn't ride up there with Haley?
Nope. There's actually like 12 people from Bozeman, but drove up with my wife, and we stayed with my brother-in-law's parents both years. Yep.
So you've been in the sport for 10 years now. Did you have a previous background in track or field or anything?
Nope. I just kind of grew up. I was really into like interval lifting, and I did boxing when I was young, and I didn't get into triathlon until 2008. I was 15 years old, and it was actually my friend's mom just kind of threw us into one. And my only goal was just to beat him, and I ended up taking third overall in my age group, and I was like riding this rusty tin can of a bike and running through the sprinklers on the run course. And when I found out I got on the podium, I was like, man, if I can have this much fun and in place, this is my kind of sport. So
right.
That's kind of what sparked the interest.
Wow. So how was your training going into this race?
Going into this race, it was good. I think it was the best preparation yet.
Okay. For
sure. Just like the volume that we were doing, the numbers that were showing on the bike and the run. My run volume has always been the weakness, just with training. So that's been growing steadily. So I knew I was ready to put a better run up than I have been. And I was just ready. I was calm and just ready to go.
Okay. So I know you're using Haley Chura, right? So
right.
How long has she been your coach?
She's been my coach for, a little over a year and a half now.
Okay.
It's been really good. So
did you miss a lot of training going into this race, or were you consistent 100% throughout the training?
Yeah, so 2 weeks out, I actually got sick. So I missed one key session that I really wanted to hit. So that was kind of a mental block. But, I just recovered from it quick. I think we took a longer taper than we would have. So I definitely went into the race undercooked.
Okay.
Which could be good sometimes.
With the key session that you missed, what key session was it?
It was let's see, what was it? I think it was a 3-hour ride, and it had 4 by 25 minutes at 70.3 race effort. So just kind of waking the legs up, and then off that bike, it was a 30-minute run, 10 minutes just nice and steady, and then 10 minutes, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, and then the last 10 minutes was a little bit quicker than race pace.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Now, going into this race, what was your longest swim, bike, and run distances?
My longest bike was 101 miles. And then my longest run, I think, was 12. It's a 12-mile run. And then longest swim was 6,600 meters. So,
God.
Yeah. I know. That was a brutal day.
That's like 2 hours in the pool.
Oh, yeah. Solid.
Man. Now, were you doing a lot of bricks in training?
Yeah, that's one thing we've changed a lot in my training. We've been doing a lot of bricks, and I think it's good for me being, I don't like to say it, but injury prone runner. just gets me nice and warmed up on the bike. And then, I'm nice and primed and ready to go run. And we'll do like some short stuff, like 20 minutes, 15 minutes off the bike.
Okay.
A lot of the time.
Were you doing strength training as well?
Yep. We're in the gym once a week. And then I meet with my PT another time in the week at Pro Physio in Bozeman. And and then we just do some maintenance stuff a couple other times of the week. So yeah, a lot of strength, a lot of maintenance. But one day of the week we're lifting heavy. We're like doing either squats or deadlifts, just kind of loading the joints and stuff.
Okay. And so you actually go to a gym for that, or you just do that at home?
Yep. So, I go to Epic Bozeman. It's a gym in Bozeman. They're actually a sponsor of mine, and yeah, they're really good to me. So They have an awesome facility.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Going into this race, what was the most hours of training you did in 1 week?
In 1 week, we had a 23-hour week. So,
wow.
Yep, it's been pretty consistent with 20-hour weeks lately. So, when we started when I started with Haley, we were like 15 to 18-hour weeks, and we've progressed me up to 20-hour weeks, which has been really good.
Okay. Now, were there any days where you just mentally didn't want to train?
Yeah, this morning. No. It happens, but like when you want to do this for a profession like I want to do and have a career at it, you just gotta show up every day and get the work done. So, and it's nice to have some training partners that make the long sessions a little easier and stuff like that. So,
okay. Now, was a lot of your training outdoors?
Yeah, well, funny you say that. In Bozeman, it's there's a lot of winter here. I think we get 3 months of summer. So, yeah, we take advantage when it's nice out. But, yeah, it's a lot of trainer stuff. But right now, I throw my trainer in the closet and kind of forget about it. Go out rain or shine.
For a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man. So do you use a road ID when you're outside?
I don't.
Okay.
No.
You should definitely get one. At least play it safe a little bit.
Probably, yeah. I got my cell phone. It's got my ID in there, so
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, as far as your workouts go, I know you've been doing this for a while now, and you already have the confidence level that you want going into it, and you missed that key session. But were there any workouts that you completed that gave you the confidence to go into this race prepared?
I think it was just a cumulative of all the weeks leading up to, like when I can see on Training Peaks that everything's green, I know I'm doing everything that I can in my power. And when you do that, there's not much more you can do, So yeah, I was totally confident, and I knew I put all the work in.
Okay. So when you're not training, racing, or traveling to a race, what are you doing?
Out training or racing? I like to listen to podcasts, or when I'm out riding long, or always listening to music. Okay. When I'm out training, driving, I don't know, just crank some music and yeah.
Okay, so when you're not training or racing or traveling, what are you doing?
What am I doing? I'm usually working. So yeah, I work at a gym at Epic in Bozeman, and then I also work at Own House Cycling. They're a bike shop in town. And then I also coach triathletes and on my own time. So
okay,
I'm busy. So yep, when I'm not training, I'm working or hanging out with my wife.
Okay.
Every chance I get.
How big of an issue is balancing life, work, and training with spending time with the wife and work?
Yeah, it's been a challenge. We've been married for working on a year and a half now. And at first, going into the married life, Kendra already knew what my goals are and aspirations of becoming a professional triathlete. And she just knew that, I got to be out training, and it works really well. So we're both busy, and then when we aren't doing anything, we just like to be with each other. So it's really nice. She's my person I can go to after hard sessions and just hang out and laugh and have some fun. So yeah, it's a good balance. Yep.
So now then, were there any things that you had to sacrifice going into this race that was abnormal? Like for instance, you might have had to sacrifice some time off from work, or maybe you didn't get to go on a date night or something like that?
Yeah, I think the big sacrifice is hanging out with people. Yeah, it's hard to live a social life and be a triathlete. Well, yeah, I mean, you train a lot. You're always just trying to like sleep and rest in between sessions, and then especially when you're working on top of it, it's taxing. So definitely just going to bed early, I think, is the biggest sacrifice. Like 8:30, 9 o'clock, we're in bed, and yeah, people don't understand that, but I think that's probably a sacrifice of hanging out with friends and stuff.
Okay, and y'all don't have any kids on the way yet?
Not yet. Nope.
Is it in the future?
Yeah, definitely. We'll have kids. Yep.
Awesome. I know I've been asked that plenty of times because I'm 31 and everybody's like, hey, y'all gonna have any kids and grow the family? I'm like, oh my gosh, stop asking me this. I'm being selfish right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe next year. We'll see. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. So what was your mindset going into this race?
Well, I just came off of for me, a tough loss at St. George 70.3 in May. I had a really good swim, a good bike, and then the first 5K of the run, I was running really well. I was actually leading the amateur race, and then I just totally blew up. I had some bad GI issue on the bike, and so I stopped eating, and I think I just calorie bonked. So it was a long 10 miles at the end of that race. So
that's not really an easy course to bonk at either.
No, yeah, the hills are, the run course are super steep, and yeah, but yeah. So I guess going into Coeur d'Alene, I knew I was fit, and I knew we could fix the problem, and that was my nutrition. So I started trying different things, really testing what works for me, and I started using Scratch, and I just found that it's a lighter drink mix, and it just sits in my stomach really well. So, going in, training, the preparation into Coeur d'Alene, I knew that what I was using now was going to work really well for me on the bike. And so it was just a mixture of like, okay, figuring out my nutrition, I got nothing to lose, I know I'm fit coming out off of St. George. I'm just going to go and have fun. And I told myself I'm going to smile at everyone I see, like, cause I love this sport, and it's fun. So I actually went in really calm and just ready, cause I knew I was fit, and yeah. So it was just a relaxing week. The people we stay with, Mike and Mary, are awesome. They have a nice quiet house. So Kendra and I just got to relax leading up into the race, and a lot of friends from both in there. So yeah, it was nice.
Okay. Now, with your nutrition plan, if we compare the two from St. George to Coeur d'Alene, how many calories per hour were you doing at St. George?
At St. George, per hour, let's see, my bottles are 100 calories. So I don't know. I don't calculate that. What I try to do is I try to eat 2 sleeves of shot blocks on the bike. So, I take 2 blocks every 20 minutes. So I guess I'll run it down like this. So after the swim, I'll get on the bike, and I'll, the first 15, 20 minutes, I'll get on my liquids. Cause after, like a tough swim, 25-minute hard swim, the first thing you're going to do is drink. So, you got to replenish yourself. And then, I'll go right into 2 shot blocks every 20 minutes. And that actually is perfect, cause it ends like 15 minutes before I start running. I've eaten all my shot blocks, and I've gotten through 2 bottles of sugar drink. So I don't know how many calories that is. I think it's, maybe 500-600 calories.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Cause I was just trying to see if there was a difference in calories per hour from St. George versus Coeur d'Alene.
Right. Yeah. I ate more calories in Coeur d'Alene for sure. Yeah. I think, especially on the run course was the big thing. Big thing that changed is I ran with a little flask filled with 5 gels. And I told myself I got to get through this whole flask before the end of the race. So every other mile I'd take a hit of the flask. and I just know I'd be getting enough calories. And then at every aid station, I'd grab, throw water on my head and drink some water, Gatorade or Coke or whatever I felt like I needed.
Okay. Now, with this race, when did you start traveling to the race? Was it that Thursday?
Yeah, it was a race on Sunday. Yeah. We drove, Friday actually.
Okay, Friday.
Yeah. We drove up Friday afternoon. So which is nice. I actually like sleeping in my own bed a lot better than if I can, and then not hanging around the race venue too long. Otherwise, I just start getting too pent up. And so, yeah, we drove up Friday afternoon and then spent 2 nights before the race. So that was perfect.
So you get to the venue to check in. How was the village and checking in there?
It's good. It's really pretty there. You're in the trees and it's nice and shaded some parts. But yeah, it's a good atmosphere. It's so beautiful right down on the lake there. And downtown Coeur d'Alene is pretty awesome. So
okay, and
good atmosphere.
And you've done this race before, right?
Yep, I did it last year. Yep.
And the year before that?
Nope.
No, so this is your second time doing this race.
Second time doing the race, yep.
Okay, because I know from what I've heard before is there's a few turns in the downtown area that you want to make sure you're aware of.
Yeah, on the bike course.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, right at the beginning there's a lot of turns, but yeah, I mean, it's nothing too technical, I guess. Maybe just a little bit slower because you can't get into a good groove, but yeah, it's not too bad.
Okay. Now, what was your last workout before the race?
Last workout, Saturday, the day before the race. I think I did all 3 sports. I just did easy shakeout swim in the lake in the morning. And then I did a 45-minute bike ride just with some 70.3 efforts. Like, I think we did some 2-minuters, just kind of waking the legs up a bit. And then I did a 15-minute run off the bike. So just shaking out the legs, really, and just getting prepped and primed.
So you weren't like doing hard efforts on the run at all?
Nope. Just, whatever the leg gave me. I had to hold myself back because I was feeling pretty good.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So the day before the race, do you have a certain meal that you want to get before the actual race itself?
I've been experimenting a lot lately, and I mean, I've eaten tacos night before races. I've eaten pasta, like just chicken and salad, salmon and salad. It's like, I don't really have anything like too key. A couple days before, I try to get like a bigger meal in. So like Friday night, I ate like a big, heavier carb. Like we ate a lot of rice and chicken and stuff like that. And then just made sure I ate a big breakfast Saturday morning. I like to eat heavy, and then I actually kind of ate a lighter meal. I like to eat a little bit lighter before race day.
Okay.
So
what time did you try to get in bed the night before the race?
I think 10 o'clock actually. Yeah. I've played around with this a lot. I've tried to go to bed at 8 before races, and like that never works because then I just lay in bed like thinking about it, and I drive myself insane. So I've actually found if I go to bed a little later, I'm more tired, and then I can fall asleep easier.
Okay. So you wake up on race day. What's your race day morning ritual like before you leave the house where you're staying at?
Yeah. So Coeur d'Alene's an early start. Starts at 6. So I actually woke up at 3 o'clock, took a shower, and then made some breakfast, which is my staple. I make it every day, which is oatmeal and some eggs. Race day, I don't put a lot of stuff in my oatmeal. I keep it simple, like honey and cinnamon or something, and then some salty eggs. And then I did a little 20-minute shakeout run, just kind of wake the body up a little bit, and then then we just took off to transition area. So breakfast, little shakeout run.
Okay, no coffee?
Crazy. Oh yeah, I forgot the coffee. It's funny you say that. I was never a coffee drinker before I met my wife. She's a barista, and she weaned me in on the coffee. So I've been drinking coffee for like a year and a half now.
Wow.
I'm addicted. I have like 3 cups a day. So, yeah.
Wow.
Well, maybe 4 sometimes. I don't know.
Did she make it for you?
Nope.
Oh.
Well, when she's at the coffee shop, of course. Yep. She'll make me a nice Americano. I always told her if I was going to be a coffee drinker, I'd never put any cream or sugar in it. But how she weaned me in on it, she put hot cocoa powder in my coffee. So I think you call it a campfire mocha. But oh my gosh, so good. And then got to a point I'm like, I can't keep doing this. I gotta just go black. So yeah, now I just drink black coffee.
Wow. Yeah. Now you're on the way to the race venue. Did you hit any traffic?
No. It's nice and quiet. It's easy getting down there.
So you find a parking spot and then you head over to your transition area. How does transition go for you the morning before the race?
It goes well. Yeah, it's just the big thing is calibrating my power meter, which actually takes longer in race day. I think it's trying to pick up so many other Garmin's. So I try to take my bike over to a corner and calibrate it. Getting my transition area set up. I like to keep it simple.
Okay. What does that look like for you?
Well, it's literally just, so my shoes are already on my bike. My helmet is on the ground. And, just got my running shoes, my hat, and my bib. And, yeah, that's it. I don't like it cluttered or anything. It's just simple. Got my bike and then my running shoes. So.
Okay.
Yep.
So are you using socks at all?
Yep. Yep. Put some socks on. Yes, for the halves. If I'm racing a sprint or Olympic, I'll go sockless.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So what kind of bike do you use?
I have a BMC Time Machine 01. And, yeah, it's awesome. And I got it's Ultegra Di2, which is pretty cool. And then I run a 55-43 tooth chainring setup.
Okay.
And then 1128 cassette in the back. Okay. And then I just got some night wheels this year, which is awesome. I ran a 95 in the rear and then a 65 up front.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's a mean looking bike.
Did that combination work well for you on this course?
I think so. Yep. It's an honest course. The first, I think 15 miles are pretty pancake flat. And then, and then you start climbing. So, yeah, I mean, I probably could have ran a 95 up front as well. It's not super windy, but yeah, it worked really well.
Okay. Now, as far as setting up your bike the morning of, what kind of PSI are you running?
Depends on the course. If it's a smooth course, I'll run them a little higher. If I know it's going to be a rough course, a little lower. But yeah, I think I did 100 PSI on race day. Yeah, it's pretty smooth course.
Okay, so what time was your send-off for the swim?
6:15.
Okay.
And it's rolling start.
Okay. And you get done with your bike probably around, what, 5?
For what now?
You get done with your bike in transition around 5, I'm assuming?
Minutes?
No, around 5 o'clock.
Oh, at the end of the day? Oh, in the morning.
In the
Gotcha.
morning.
Yeah. Let's see. I think they kick you out at 5:45. Okay. So I think I was there at like 5:30, and then just got it set up, and then I like to do a long swim warm up. Okay. If I can, because that's how we do it in the mornings when we train. So.
Okay. What does your warm up swim look like?
I'll usually just do kind of hundreds. I'll just kind of swim out and then relax and do another 100, and I'll just kind of do pickups. So just kind of getting the heart rate going, get the arms going a little bit. But yeah, nothing special. Okay. Just trying to.
And you're using the Tier full sleeve wetsuit for this course?
Yeah. Yep.
How did that work for you?
Worked well. I actually had some terrible chafing. I wish I could show you. It healed, but it was like this huge scab on my neck. I think my Velcro was chafing me pretty bad.
Oh man.
I don't know.
I've actually seen people use K-tape around their neck just to prevent that.
Nice. So yeah.
That might be an idea.
I should probably do that. Otherwise, I'm going to start getting this huge scar right here. Yeah.
Did you use any lube?
Yeah, I mean, you usually use Body Glide. Yeah, I'll Body Glide my neck and my armpits and stuff, but it didn't work.
So in between the time that you leave transition and your swim starts, you're getting a warm-up swim in. Are you getting any last-minute nutrition in as well?
Yeah, let's see. What do I do? I usually slam a gel right before swim warm-up. Just why not, right? Get some more calories in, get some sugar. And, but that's about it. Just sip on some water and stuff. Because I usually have cotton mouth morning of a race. I don't know why. It's probably just the nature of the beast.
Right.
Just nervous.
As far as the swim goes, how does the swim go for you?
Swim went well. I was hoping to swim faster than I did because Haley, my coach, she beat me. She beat me out of the water by like a minute. So we had some laughs about that. Actually, last year when we swam, she beat me by 1 second out of the water. And I was like, dang. And this year I thought it was going to be the other way around. Don't tell her I said that. But yeah, she swam so well. And but yeah, I mean, I was out front all day. I think the first 200 I was shoulder and shoulder with somebody. And then yeah, I just kind of kicked it into gear and then just sat out in the lead. I didn't really know where I was or who was around me. So I was just trying to swim a strong race.
Okay. Now, being that knowing that you were going to be towards the front of the pack, were you one of the very first ones in the water?
I try to be. It depends on how you line up. So it's a rolling start, and there's like 3 little gates you enter in. So everyone's filtering in, and I like to be out front just because I like open fresh water if I can. So, but I think I actually was third person back.
Okay.
So it's every 5 seconds somebody goes.
Okay.
So with that, yeah.
Go ahead.
So within the first 200 meters, I caught up to the lead guys right away, and then we swam, and then I just kept going. So yeah.
Okay. I was going to ask, did you have to sight a lot being that you were up front, or were you relying on them?
I never rely on anyone. I don't trust anyone. But yeah, I'm pretty good at sighting. I'm comfortable with it. So, yep.
Are you a bilateral breather?
Yeah, I've actually been struggling with this lately because in training, when it's like easier stuff, I'll always swim, breathe every 3. And then when the set starts getting hard, I'll breathe to just one side just because I need more oxygen. So when I'm racing, I breathe to one side. But okay. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out which side to breathe on because they both feel good. So I don't know. I just breathe off to the right every time.
Okay. Now, how does a swim go for you?
It went well. I mean, I was out front, so I think right in the beginning I got kicked in the face and one of my goggles filled up with some water, but I just kept going and it didn't bother me too much. But yeah, I came out of the water and out front. And yeah, I just had a good transition. So,
okay. Did you take advantage of the wetsuit strippers?
Nope, just slows you down. No, I'm pretty good at getting my wetsuit off, so I practiced it enough.
Okay, so how does T1 go for you?
T1 really smooth. Yep. Like I said, I keep my transition really simple. So just take my wetsuit off, throw my helmet on and grab my bike and I'm ready. So, yeah, it went really smooth. I actually had a pretty good spot this year. So, so that helped.
Right. But, Did you know where you were in the field at this point?
Yep. I knew I was out leading the race. So, yep.
How did you know that?
Well, typically with a rolling start, all the faster guys will, start up front. And, when I left transition, I didn't see anyone in transition area yet. So I knew I actually at least had a pretty good lead on everyone. So.
Okay. Now you get to the bike. How the first 2 miles of the bike ride go?
Terrible. My legs didn't show up. My goal power was to hold 300 watts for the race. And I was just having a hard time keeping it at 290 the first 10, 15 minutes. But yeah, the first few miles were a little rough and I had to give myself a little pep talk. But yeah, they came around a little bit, towards the middle of the race.
Okay. So aside from hitting your power of 300 watts, what was your strategy for the bike ride?
Bike ride, honestly, the strategy was to eat. Just to make sure I get all my nutrition in. So that was my goal. It's every 20 minutes I got to eat something, and then I just drink as I need, make sure I get through 2 bottles of scratch. But the strategy was just to keep it steady, try to stick on my power and, just kind of hold it. So, about 30 minutes into the bike ride though, I think I swallowed some lake water and I actually puked pretty violently on the bike.
Really?
Yeah. And then 10 minutes later I puked again, which was really weird. And I do remember when I got kicked, I swallowed a lot of water. So I don't know if it just wasn't sitting well in my stomach right away. But
Well, that probably took you about a minute to recover from that too, right?
actually, it didn't really faze me. I puked and I was like, well, that was kind of weird. And I just kept going. Like, my first thought was, crap, there goes my calories, that I just took in. But yeah, I wasn't too worried about it.
Okay. Now
I just kept on my plan.
with that, were you trying to hit a certain cadence number or normalized power, or were you looking at an average power or exact power of that second?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking normalized a little bit above 300 would have been sweet throughout the whole ride. Cadence, my cadence is about like 87, 85, somewhere in there. So that's where I just feel steady and nice and steady there. But, and then, I think the plan for the bike was on the hills, ride a little bit higher, like, 340 on the hills, cap it off. Cause you can make up a lot of time cause they're pretty long climbs, like 15, minute climbs. But yeah, I like I said earlier, my legs just weren't, my cycling legs didn't show up on race day. It's just a hard time. Like on the hills, I think I was holding 300.
Oh, wow.
Or just above. Yeah. Like 315. So, I think at the end of the day, my normalized was 287, which is okay. And that's really, encouraging too. Cause I think I beat 6 pro men, bike splits.
Wow.
With that. And, we know that I can ride a lot better than that. So that's encouraging. But yeah, so.
Okay. Now, as far as the bike course goes, how are the aid stations?
Aid stations? Oh, they're good. I think at mile 10, there's an aid station. Like mile, I don't know, 35 or something like that. But yeah, I skipped the first aid station because I had enough of what I needed. But on the second one, I grabbed a water bottle.
Okay.
And just drink some water.
As far as the quality of the road goes, how was that?
The what?
The quality of the road?
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, they actually closed down half of the highway there, and it's nice and smooth. So yeah, it's a really safe course to ride, I think. So they do a really good job of that.
Okay. Now, I'm assuming you're wearing an aero helmet, right?
Yep, I wear forget what it's called, but it's actually it doesn't have the teardrop. It's just a helmet from Giro. But yeah, I like that. It's got a little more ventilation, and I got an aero shield that magnetizes on.
Okay.
So,
now,
nice.
I say that because with going as hard as you're going to be going and riding as hard as you're going to ride, are you really worrying about what's around you, or are you just looking at like 10 feet in front of you the whole time? What does that look like?
Yeah, I just kind of turn my mind off to everything. I just tell myself like simple little things like, just keep digging, keep going, keep pushing. Like, I actually just write some things on my hands to look at, just little motivation stuff. But yeah, it just helps the time go by. I don't know. Yeah, I just kind of like try to stay in the moment as best I can. And, just give my best effort. Try to keep it steady.
Okay. Now, did you see that many flats on the bike?
I actually didn't see anyone get a flat.
Okay.
Nope.
That's good. I mean,
yeah.
Can't ask for better than that. Now,
right.
As far as the bike goes, how do you know how hard to push in the earlier stages of the bike ride versus the later portion of the bike ride?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think that's something that's going to change with racing professionally. In the age group race, like for me being a good swimmer, I'm usually always out leading the bike, and I'm always out alone. So, I just try to keep it steady the whole time, really, and, just like those little things like on the hills. Okay. Now we know I can hold 340 watts for 15 minutes, like stuff like that. So yeah, just take advantage of just trying to be in the aero position as long as I can. And, yeah.
Okay. As far as the bike goes, is there anything you'd tell someone to be aware of that hasn't done this bike course before?
Ooh, yeah. There's a couple no passing zones. So like on some steeper sections, you can't pass anyone in, otherwise you get penalized, which would not be a good time. So I think going to the pre-race meetings would be a really wise thing to do because they map all that out pretty well. But yeah, it's the roads are all pretty much blocked off, so it's a really safe bike course, I think, to ride on. And if you're afraid of cars or anything like that, I mean, it's a good course to go race.
Okay. Have you done Oceanside before?
Oceanside, I have not.
Okay.
No.
In a sense, it sounds like, from what I'm gathering, is being that the first few miles are flat, it's similar to Oceanside, but Oceanside, you don't hit the hills or mountains, rather, until the later portion of the bike ride. I think around mile 40. I could be wrong there, and then you just go up mountains, and then you have some hillies, and then there's also some no pass zones on the bike ride in Oceanside. So it sounds like it's kind of similar, but not exactly the same. On Oceanside, there's absolutely no gain on the run course, but there's obviously some gain here.
Yep, a little bit. Yep,
but not too bad.
Yeah, for the run course.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an honest run course. I think it's flat. So for me, I actually like a hillier run course because I see myself as a stronger athlete that can, and I live in Bozeman where there's a lot of mountains. So do a lot of trail running. And so I like powering up hills and then running fast downhill. So yeah, you got to keep on the gas in Coeur d'Alene because it is flat.
Okay. Now, the final mile or two of the bike ride, are you doing any type of transition to help prepare you for the run?
Yeah. So usually, when I'm swimming, I'm only thinking about the swim until like the last 5 minutes. And then I tell myself, I got to start kicking more. Like, let's wake my legs up. On the bike, I just try to stay in the moment. It's a bike race right now. And then like, the last few miles, like, okay, how am I doing? Do I have enough calories in me right now? What do I need? So, I'll just kind of start thinking about, what am I going to do in the run? Like, okay, I'm going to get off the bike and I'm going to hold this certain pace. So I just kind of start changing my mind to the next thing, like towards the end of the ride. And, I pull back a little bit on the bike, just kind of like let my legs freshen up a little bit. And yeah, so it's just more like a mental thing for me. Like, okay, now let's think about the run. Like,
okay.
What do we?
So you get to T2. How does T2 go for you?
It goes really well. I was the only one in there. I think there's actually a few pro women. I caught up to a few pro women in there. So we were running out together. But yeah, I went smooth. My socks went on easy, which is a good thing. And yeah.
Did you roll your socks?
No.
No?
A little bit. Yeah. Just enough. So.
Okay. Now, with T2, you're the first one in there in the age groupers. Mm-hmm. How did that feel? I mean, have you been in this situation before where you were the only one in transition?
Yep. Yeah, actually last year in Coeur d'Alene was the same case. I was leading the bike going into, and I've been there before with my, past years, like I said, being a good swim biker, you're usually out front leading the race in at least in age group races. So, it was no surprise. I actually like being out there out front. Okay. Gives me confidence and yeah.
So you get out on the run course. How does the run course go for you? Or the first few miles, rather?
Run course, actually felt really good. Let's see. Yeah, first couple miles, like I said earlier, I just went into this race and I told myself I'm going to smile at everyone. So that's when I started smiling and just having fun. And I was looking at my watch and I was like, I'm actually just floating right now. This is crazy. So yeah, first couple miles went really well. I was confident in our nutrition plan and strategy. So, I had my running with my little flask and just getting right on nutrition and, seeing all my friends out there cheering on the sidelines. It was really fun.
Okay. I think we glanced over or passed a moment in the race where it was kind of cool for you, and I want to make sure we touch on that. It was probably on the bike ride whenever you passed Haley.
That was last year.
That was last year.
That was last year, yeah. That was another goal this year. Well, and for her too, to not get passed, which is really funny. So, yeah, last year I actually passed her in the no pass zone, which I learned is a no-no. I didn't get penalized for it or anything, but yeah. Anyways, so that was my kind of goal going into this year's. So pro women actually started 3 minutes earlier this year.
Okay.
So my little goal was to catch her at the same place, and then I know I'd be riding really fast. And I think her goal was to have me not catch her. But yeah, I didn't see her. I passed every other pro female but her, so she was the only one that I didn't pass. She was flying.
So you never passed her at all?
Nope.
Wow.
Nope.
So how close were you? Did you find out later how close you were behind her?
Yeah, I think I was like 2 or 3 minutes behind her.
Wow.
2 minutes. So I think that sounds about right.
Okay. Now you're on the run course. You have your flask there. You're using gels in your flask. Are these caffeinated gels that you're using?
No, it's just the Hammer. What did I use? What was it? Can't think of the flavor right now. But either way, I mean, anything you take is going to taste nasty. It's just you got to get the calories in. So, man, I can't think of what flavor I was using.
Chocolate?
But, yep, I don't know. So, it'll come to me.
Okay. So, how do you know how hard to push on the earlier stages of the run versus later on in the run?
Yeah. So, with that, I mean, our goal was to run under an hour 30. So I knew what mile splits I had to hit, what my 5K split I had to hit. So, I wanted a negative split like everyone. So I tried to go out, pretty conservative, and I was actually, I felt so good. And, I've ran like 6 15-minute miles and a half before, like in an open half. So, and I was running like 6:20, 6:25 in the beginning, and it felt really easy. So I thought, I can hold this. Like, I'm feeling really good. But, I think by mile 8, I was holding like 6:30, 6:40-minute miles. Was feeling great. And then I just like hit a wall at around 8 miles. And, at one point I looked at my watch and I was running like an 8:50-minute mile. And I'm like, I had to give myself a little pep talk, because I knew I was still in the lead, because how the course is, it's like, it's 2 out and backs with a little lollipop at the turnaround. And so you can see, where everyone is. And so I knew second place after the first out and back was like, 5 behind me. So I knew I had a really good gap and I was feeling good. And then, the second lap around, I think it was just before mile 8, he put like 3.5 minutes into me. So he was getting really close and he looked really strong. But I actually smiled at him both times just to let him know, like, I was feeling good. The first time I was a little more smiley, but the second time I was like, yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that was definitely the deepest I've pushed in a race, I think. Bringing it back to an 8:50-minute mile for a little bit to like back to a 6:40-minute mile. I remember the last couple miles I was closing my eyes, just like giving it everything I had. I was like grunting the last 2 miles. So yeah, definitely the last 5 miles, I wasn't smiling as much, and I told myself I was going to be, but yeah, at that point you just got to get it done and keep pushing through. So
this dark place that you put yourself in to push that hard, what were you feeling in those moments where you were just really just hammering it as hard as you could go?
Yeah. I think about a lot of different things. I think about my family and my wife and just all the sacrifices that, they do for me. My sponsors and just everyone who cares about me. And I know like that I can push, it's going to end soon. Like, 4 hours feels like an eternity when you're pushing yourself so hard. But like, okay, I only have like 30 more minutes of just suffering. And then I can just like be at the finish line, be okay. So yeah, I just tell myself that I can do it and that, I also love it. I love pain, like I tell myself that like, this is what I sign up for and this is what I want to do for a career. And I love it. It's such a weird thing, but, it's just one of those things. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Now, how was the support on the course?
It was good being 2 out and backs. I could see my wife a lot. She was biking around the course, and then my other friends were there cheering me on. So yeah, the atmosphere was good.
Okay.
Yep.
Did you have an escort, being that you were the first age grouper?
Nope.
No.
I think just professionals have escorts.
Because I want to say I was at Lake Placid last year, and I'm almost certain that the first 3 men and women age groupers had escorts.
Oh wow,
yeah.
Nice.
The age groupers.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, not at Coeur d'Alene, I guess. So
didn't have enough volunteers. So, or at least volunteers with the right bikes.
Right.
Because they have to bring their own bikes. I learned that this year at IRONMAN Texas when I volunteered there.
Yeah. Was that a mass start?
At Texas?
Yeah.
That was so the pros had their waves, and then it was a rolling start.
Okay. Yeah, I just wonder with like age group races having escorts, like if somebody starts way back, they could be racing faster than somebody who started up further. So I wonder if that's part of
at Lake Placid. It was a rolling start for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. That'd be nice to know.
Right.
Then you can see what it is.
One of the things that I don't really agree with is the actual weight or the rolling start. I mean, I kind of wish it was a mass start. I mean, a lot of people don't like it because the anxiety levels, the wash machine and all that. But what you do get is a fair race across the board. Everybody is racing the same time on the clock.
Right.
And if you want to close the course at midnight, hey, at midnight that's your time to beat.
Right.
Where the rolling start, you don't know at that time. Like I interviewed a guy that did Boulder, Brian. He finished and completed Montre Blanc before midnight, but still got a DNF because of the time. And it was a rolling start. So it's just, I think the mass start is more honest versus the rolling start of, hey, it's nice, we can get everybody in the water faster. Well, mass start, go.
I agree. I totally agree. Like last year, the guy who won the age group race, Andrew Drobeck, he lives close to us in Missoula. But he started like way back, right? And then he's a slow swimmer, and but he's a really fast bike runner. But yeah, he won, and Ernie, the guy who won or took second, had no idea where he was. So yeah, it's just like things like that. And even the guy who took second, Kyle Simmons, this year, last year, I think he was battling with another guy, and they finished at the same time, but Kyle beat him by 4 seconds because he started 4 seconds back on the swim for the rolling start. So it's just like it makes it almost like
it's a mental.
You just don't know.
Yeah, it's a mental game in the run, and you have to know where everybody started. And for the people that are trying to podium, it's like, well, what's going on? Yep.
It's a little tricky. So yeah, it's almost like a time trial, like a cycling time trial. It's just you against the clock, really. You just gotta finish strong to the end because you just don't know exactly what everyone is.
And in a sense, it's, playing devil's advocate a little bit of, if you bring your best on that day, no matter what, you'll bring your best, and that's all you can do. So you can't really do much more than that.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, going back to the race here at Coeur d'Alene, how was the support on the course?
It was good. I didn't see anyone on the bike course. But yeah, the run course, like I said, it's a 2 out and back lollipop loop. And, yeah, I had friends along the course and yep. So yeah, it was good. Everyone was cheering. Volunteers were friendly. Yeah.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
What was the funniest thing that you saw on the race course?
Man, funniest thing. There's some funny signs out there. Like, you look hot when you sweat or something like that. That made me laugh. I don't know. Yeah, just stuff like that. Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't see anything. Yeah.
Okay, so the last few miles, how was that for you?
The last few miles?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I said, it was really tough. I was in a dark place and I had to really dig deep. Everything hurt on me. So, it wasn't a pleasant last few miles. That's for sure. I didn't know, I knew Kyle was gaining on me and, I knew it was really close because one of my friends came running up the course a little ways from the finish line and they're like, Dylan, you got to go. Cause he was like, the finishing, the last mile, it's like a lot of turns and twists. So you don't know where anyone is. And he's like, Dylan, you got to go. Cause on the IRONMAN tracker app, it looked like we were like on top of each other running together. So, the finishing shoot's pretty long and straight. So when I turned around, I didn't see him or anything. So I knew I had, at least would cross first. We were talking about with the rolling start, you never know where somebody started. And, so it was a little scary, but yeah, it was just kind of like survival and just testing, like toughness. So,
okay. With the age groupers here, did you get to break the tape as an age grouper?
Nope.
They don't do that?
Nope.
Oh, man.
I know. You got to earn it, I guess. I don't know. As a pro.
Yeah. Now, you cross the finish line. What do you do next?
I was looking for my wife, actually, because, that meant so much to me when I heard, the first amateur, and, in 2011, I told myself I wanted to race professionally and do it as a career. And like, I've had so many big setbacks, that took me away from the sport for like years at a time. But like, I don't think a day went by where I didn't think about triathlon or training or not achieving the goal. So the goal going into Coeur d'Alene was to win. I only show up to win. Just that's my mentality. I need to like go in mentally thinking I'm going to win this race. Otherwise, like triathlon's too hard not to, or just for me to show up and be like, oh, I'm okay with a podium or, podium or something. And I know I'm going to get humbled when I race professionally, but, it'll be good for me. So when I crossed the finish line, it's pretty emotional actually.
Really?
Cause when I crossed, I actually saw Haley pop the champagne up on the podium. So they were doing their celebration, which was really fun to watch. And it was just a special moment. Like I achieved this big goal that I've had since 2011, like I won my race. I qualified for my pro license. Yeah, there's some tears at the finish line. So,
wow. So you find your wife, how was that?
It was good. She was just so proud and like, I don't know, we were both just like, what the heck just happened, And I know it, like I have so much more room for growth. Like, like as my run becomes more consistent, my bike, whatever, like, this is only the beginning, but it was a really good step for me. It was like a good confidence booster, So yeah, we were just kind of like, holy crap, man, you did it. Yeah, and my friends around me were all just so happy. It was awesome. I had a good crew around me.
Wow.
So,
now, So after this few minutes of celebration, tears, and emotional roller coaster, basically, do you meet Kyle afterwards?
Yeah. I saw Kyle come in 25 seconds later. So yeah, I mean, it was so close. It was way too close for comfort, but, yeah, I think we hugged it out and said, nice work. And, yeah, what a battle. And he's like, he's like, what age group are you? I'm like, 25, 29. He's like, dang it. Cause, guys race for age group wins too, not overall amateur wins. But yeah, he ended up taking the second overall amateur. But yeah, it was just kind of funny. We got to chuckle and laugh about that. So yeah, it was just fun to greet the top guys, top amateurs coming in.
Nice. So how was your recovery process?
It's been really good. So that was my fourth 70.3 ever. And I did 2 last year, and that was my second one this year. Yeah, about 4 days after the race, I had some muscular fatigue. And then about like the 5 and 6 day, I felt like I recovered at a more deeper cellular level. So yeah, pretty quick turnaround. Like in the past, I could barely walk for a week, like last year. And that's just due to my run training picking up, I think.
Okay. Now, looking back on it, how well prepared for this race do you think you were?
How what?
How well prepared for this race do you think you were?
I said I felt really prepared. The most prepared I've felt, definitely. Except for that, sickness week where, I got a little sick bug, but, everything was lining up well. Like I said, I like to see all green in my training peaks. So I knew I was ready to give it.
Okay.
So, yep.
Now, what's something that you learned from this race that you'd want to pass on to someone who hasn't done this race before?
Well, Coeur d'Alene is just beautiful. I mean, you look around, it's really green. The lake is just huge, and there's lots of good coffee shops around. But yeah, the atmosphere, the people are just so kind. The race venue is, it's like in these trees, but it's like nice, green grass all around. So it's a peaceful looking place, but yeah, volunteers are so awesome. Just, so thankful for all the volunteers that show up, and, everyone's great, positive. I mean, let's be honest, most triathlons are good atmospheres, everyone's excited. Volunteers are always awesome. So
right. I did Chattanooga earlier this year, and it was just amazing. I mean, it was so hot that day, and they were just out there doing their best to keep us cool. It was great.
Right. Yeah.
Now,
it's awesome.
For first timers, what advice would you give them?
First timers to the half iron distance, or just triathlon in general?
This specific race.
Yeah. I'd definitely wear, for the swim. So you swim out, and then when you turn and coming back in on the swim, you got sun right in your face. So use like a metallic, goggles. I wouldn't use clear or something where it's not UV, protective. So definitely get some lensed goggles that you can look into the sun with. Bike course. Yeah, just take your time through like you said, through town. There's a lot of turns and twists and turns. So just take your time on the turns. There's some potholes and stuff. But when you get on the main course, it's nice and smooth. And, the run course is awesome. You run through some townhouses and the city a little bit. And, but I would just say, I don't know, it depends on what level you are, but yeah, just have fun, because triathlon's fun. At the end of the day, we're just swimming, biking, and running. So, yep.
Okay. Now, how could Ironman have made your race experience better?
Made it better? I've never even thought about this. How could it have made it better? I don't know. Man, I was just going to say they could give me massages, but I got a massage after the race. But maybe better post-race food.
Really? What do they have this time?
Well, pizza. It's not terrible, but I don't know.
Well, what would you want? Like a filet mignon or something?
Right. Yeah, I know. I'm being picky. See, you're making me picky. I don't know. It's just awesome, man. The whole experience. Ironman puts on good races. So, yeah.
Okay.
No complaints.
Okay. Well, we covered a lot. Do you have anything else to add about the race?
I don't think so. Not off the top of my head.
Okay.
But,
well, the next few questions are all fun. We didn't really cover this, but you qualified for your pro card and you got that. What was that pro what was that process like?
Yep. So to qualify for your pro license, it's you got to enter a race where there's $25,000 or more, and then you have to place top 3 overall amateur. So when you can do that, you can apply for your pro license.
Okay.
Yep.
So you took it.
Yep. So, yep. I mean, it makes sense for me to take it. Like, I think it's different for everyone, right? Haley was saying, if I wasn't a strong swimmer, maybe it would be a good idea to train the swim up to where I'm with the, the pro men. So the thing with age group racing is, if you're a bad swimmer, you're still getting a draft effect by everyone on the bike, right? Because everyone's moving together. In the pro race, if you're a bad swimmer, I think you're going to find out you spend a lot of time by yourself on the bike. So if you aren't used to, spending a lot of time out alone on the bike course, that can be a mental thing that can break you. So I guess, the thought behind taking my pro license is, I'm going to be up there with the top, pro men swimmers, and then I'll be able to hang with them on the bike, at least, be more in a group and be pushed. So I'll be more in the race now. And I think, racing professionally, they're going to get more out of me, so, and then as my run develops, over time, I got a lot of time to develop it. So, that'll come.
Right. And you realize that you were the first male out of the water, right?
Yep. I beat all the pro men. Yep.
Right. You beat all the pro men, and there was only one pro woman that beat you.
Yep. My coach.
Right. I mean,
yep.
So you're literally at the front of the swim.
Yeah.
Bike and run, that can be improved on, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep. And they will. So,
right.
Yep. But, I'm all about, and this has just been such a long time coming for me. So it's just like, let's throw me in, I want to do this long term. So let's get experience. I honestly have nothing to lose, taking my pro license. There's age groupers that probably could be racing pro, but they want to go to Kona as an age grouper, and learn. And, I just see myself racing 70.3 for the next, 3 years, and then start dipping my toe in the Ironman distance. As my 70.3 gets to a place where, I'm competitive and getting on podiums and stuff in the pro field. So, it's all about just, throwing myself in the deep end, I'm going to learn as we go. And, I'm not worried about, getting throttled right away. It's going to be really fun, and, it's probably going to feed me even more. So.
Gotcha. Well, I have a few questions left. What races are on your bucket list?
On the bucket list, I really wanted to do Iceland, but they don't do it anymore, which is such a bummer. That would have been such a fun destination race. So that's out. But I haven't really thought of it too much, I don't really care. I've always thought it'd be fun to go do something crazy and go to China or something. So, and that'll probably be good for me, racing in China. I don't think, there's always a stellar pro field that show up there, but, so definitely go over there. This year, Kendra and I, it's going to be new because I've never flown to a race. So we're going to go to Santa Cruz, and then we'll go to Waco, Texas. And then in December, we're going to go to California again. It's called Indian Wells, La Quinta or whatever. So yeah, we got 4 more races on the schedule.
Wow.
This year, but
well, Waco's on the same day as Marine Corps Marathon, so I'm not going to be there, unfortunately. But I'll probably be there next year. I'll be volunteering there. Are you a part of the Facebook group on Facebook for the Waco group?
No, I am not. I'll check it out.
There's 1,300 guys and girls in there just talking about the race. It's pretty cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you're doing Boulder next, right?
Boulder's next. Yep. August 4th. That'll be my first, pro debate. Yeah.
Good.
So get thrown in with the big dogs.
Well, good luck. How can athletes follow you?
I'm on Instagram at Dylan Gillespie 93. Facebook. Where else? Yeah, that's about it. Yep. So,
okay.
Yep.
Do you have a website for your coaching?
It's in the works right now. It's going to be allintrycoaching.com.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm planning to launch August 15th. So, yep.
Nice. Well,
You'll be able to check me out there eventually.
After you get that up, let me know and I'll just put that in here for you, okay?
Cool. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Awesome. Well, I only have one more question for you, and that's, what's your definition of a perfect race?
A perfect race. I would say for me, knowing that I turned myself inside and out and like left it all out, even if it's terrible, like, even if I take 20th, if I know that I did everything I could on that day, I know it was a perfect race. So,
Okay.
Yep.
Wow. Well, that's all I have for you. I look forward to following you at Boulder and Waco and Indian Wells. I'd love to have you back on afterwards and follow your pro career a little bit.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate you having me.
Hey, you're welcome. You have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon, okay?
Okay. See you.
Thanks for tuning in today. I hope you were able to learn something from today's episode. If you enjoyed the show, please take a minute to leave a review on iTunes or share it with a friend. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. If you'd like to see pictures from this athlete's race, learn more about who I am, what I'm doing, or be on the show yourself to share your story, check out my website at CoachTerryWilson.com. Until next time, continue the pursuit.